Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Aquarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Aquarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have the Fool. I feel like you are in a very playful mood right now. You know, this is really like a trusting, loving, happy, almost an innocent kind of energy for you. Okay, I feel like something has recently ended in your life that has just made you feel free. Like this is light as a feather kind of energy here, and I feel like you have right now you have like a great sense of humor. I'm getting this impression that you were probably like the class clown in school or something. Like you have this kind of practical joker kind of energy about you. But I feel like there's really like, you're ready to say yes to life. Like you're embracing life with like, whatever comes my way is going to be great. You know, there's not a lot of baggage with you right now. You're kind of traveling light energetically. I feel like you've left something behind. This is kind of a clean slate feeling. So I feel like we dropped something. We got rid of something. We transcended something. We moved on from something. Okay? You've let go of something that felt too heavy. And we're ready for something fun. We're ready for novelty. Yeah, I feel like you're interested in a lot of things. You're probably feeling more social right now than you usually do. And I think this is really, really positive energy. And we need context. Okay, we have to see where this Fool is headed, what it's moving away from, and where it's moving toward. There we have the Temperance card. Okay, that makes sense. We have a 3 of Wands. We have the Hermit mode. Yeah, the Hermit mode, I feel, is in the past. Right? I feel like that's kind of what we're moving on from. A lot of introspection here. Now a lot of sort of exteroception, as they call it, right? We're now focusing on things outside of ourselves. And the 7 of Wands, 3 and 7, and a 10. A lot of fiery energy. I feel like the Fool is really free of something, right? Kind of done with this season of life and now is ready for activity, ready for socializing, ready for work, ready for more challenges, ready to push forward into life in a way that's exciting, in a way that's fun, but also in a way that is productive. You know, I feel like we're ready to get back to work or something here. You know, here's a 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups, 3 of Cups, and a Prince of Wands. Very nice. Yeah, you have a lot of very energetic cards, all this fire, and then of course the Prince of Wands leading all this fire energy. Let's select the mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set this down right over here with Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card is, put your prediction down in the comments below this video. Now, as we look around the room, we see these 3 majors, then we see fire, 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 water. We don't see any air. We see a little bit of earth. Okay, I feel like you're like ready to tackle something new, you know. But let's talk about the Fool a little bit more, because the Fool is ready for that new beginning. Taking a trusting and curious leap into something new. And it's a fresh energy. So you're kind of like, you're saying yes to something that feels exciting, but also a little challenging. Okay, it could be a new job. It could be, we're going to start that business. I'm going to start that. I'm about to take my first jujitsu lesson, We're doing something kind of spontaneous, but I kind of feel like it's something that you've wanted to try for a long time, but we never really did. Okay. And I think that your story is changing. This is like maybe a reinvention of ourselves. This is something that we're like, now we're kind of free. We're ready to dive into something new. Even though, no swords cards, we don't really know the plan. We don't know the information yet, right? We think of the Fool as kind of like this 0 point. We're just getting into something. We're the greenhorn. We're starting something now that I don't know anything about. I feel like you're about to begin something that you're unfamiliar with. And so we're going to have to learn as we go. And we're going to have to develop the skills and the knowledge necessary. This might be even, you're finally going to put in the work for that talent that you have, that you need to refine that into some skill, or a natural curiosity. I feel like whatever you're starting in your life right now is something that you feel like you kind of have like that natural talent for it, or you're just naturally like curious about it and you always have been. And now you're kind of diving in and you're saying, let's do it. You're experimenting. And you're not expecting any kind of guarantees. You're saying, let's figure this out. What feels interesting to you right now? Okay? There's something your soul wants to express itself in some way, and it may be a path where at first you feel a little foolish. That's good. That means it's the right path, okay? Because that means that it's probably the true path for you. It's kind of a new sense of self that I feel with you right now. And you're stepping beyond the old map. You're stepping beyond the familiar map. You're trusting in this next step, stepping into the new season of your life right here. And of course we have our Temperance card, because this is alchemy now. This is the Fool kind of stepping into a pressure cooker and saying, okay, this is going to be a transformation. I'm going to be refined. Sort of stepping into the blacksmith's shop and saying, teach me. So I kind of feel like you're entering an environment where you're going to have to pay attention and you're going to have to learn new things, and then you're going to have to apply yourself. So it kind of is like you're starting a sport or a martial art or a new skill or a musical instrument or a new job or something along those lines, because you're going to be refined. Okay? It's a situation that is going to challenge you. It is going to put pressure on you to step up and to do better. And, that is appropriate. It's supposed to feel like heat. It's supposed to feel like pressure, because it is changing you. And it is requiring, it is putting that kind of pressure on you, putting a little heat on to get you to perform to the best of your ability, And I think that you're going to stay with the process. You're being tempered. You're being slowly refined. And so I feel like it is something that it's exciting, and I feel like it's very joyful, or it's going to be. You don't know yet that it's going to be fun, but it's going to be fun. And we have the Three of Cups in the odd position here of the fear or the worry. So the Fool is kind of ready to leap into this, but I think, there's part of your soul right now that's saying, well, what if I don't like it? That what if it is just challenging, and what if it's not fun? Well, I think you're going to have fun doing it. But right now we're kind of looking at it as a test, as something that's going to be a trial and a tribulation, right? Because it's a pressure cooker. The Temperance card, it's going to temper you. It's going to make you stronger. It's going to require that you step up, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of heat, and you're going to rise to the occasion. But I think it's also something that's very fun and very joyful. So it could be, yes, like a musical instrument. Well, I play the drums. It's fun, right? It's so joyful, but it's also challenging. It's also like, okay, now I really got to put in the work and put in the hours. I got to practice. I got to listen to the teacher or the YouTube video, and I got to work really hard to get the technique down and to really get better at it. And that's kind of what I feel is the idea here with you. And it may be a martial art. It may be something financial, a business. It may be that you're going for a new promotion at work, or you're trying to level up your life. But I feel like it's going to be a very exciting and a quite fun challenge, you know. But you're going to have to be patient with yourself. That's a big thing here. The Fool, we don't want the Fool to have some sort of expectations, and you know, we get into this thing and we think it's not what I thought, and then we leave. Oh, I wasn't expecting this, you know. So don't have any expectations, and then you won't be disappointed in the circumstances, because I think that if we looked at it objectively, which we're not doing right now because there are no swords cards, I think we would know that, okay, I expect it to be challenging. I don't expect to love it on the first day necessarily, right? So down beneath the surface, we have your Three of Wands. And to me, this is that virtue. This is that part of your soul that wants to expand, that feels like confident and feels like we've got to do something. I know the right thing to do. I want to jump into the fire and I want to grow. My future self is going to really be proud of me for what I'm doing right now, you know. You're expanding your horizons. You're doing that difficult, challenging thing, or that spontaneous or improvisational kind of energy. You're leaping into something. You're saying yes to something that feels like it would be good for you. And it may be, at first, it may be a very small step. I'm just going to sign up for the class. I'm going to apply for that position. I'm going to send that email. I'm going to reach out to that person. You know, I'm going to sign up for that first jiu-jitsu class, which this was me, you know, about a month ago now. My wife and I are on probably our third or fourth week now of jiu-jitsu class. And it's fun, it's joyful, but every time I think about, oh, okay, it's Monday, or oh, it's Wednesday, it's jiu-jitsu night, you know, I get a little disappointed, because you know, I know it's going to be hard work. I know I'm going to be sweating and my muscles are going to be sore and stuff. It really is a workout. But I know it's also going to be fun. I know I'm going to have a good time doing it. Okay? Even though it is challenging. And so the Three of Wands is, you know, really you like trusting that impulse that you have inside of you, that it's like, you know, your soul is telling you, you should go do that, because that's going to be good for you. You know? Even though, you know, I think the Five of Cups here, see, these two positions of the spread are very intimately connected, because this is your impulse inside of your soul. And this is kind of like what's going on around you, I guess. And I kind of feel that, like, consciously, you expect this to be not fun. Not a disappointment necessarily, but you don't expect it to be, you know, a party. I think you're going to be very surprised at how joyful it is, but we're not kind of expecting that. Now, of course, the Fool is your kind of like your subjective view of your life right now, and I think it's just kind of like it almost feels like we're getting into something that we don't know. Like the Fool is just kind of saying, yeah, let's go, let's do it. Not realizing that the Fool is jumping into the fire, you know, kind of covered up by that fire. That Sagittarius Art Temperance card, that's fire. Really a lot of fire in the reading today. And the Fool's kind of just saying, yeah, let's go do it. Jumps in and says, wow, it's hot in here. I wasn't expecting this, you know. So I think Spirit's trying to tell you, look, you should do this. Make sure you know what you're getting into. Make sure you know that it's not going to be just a walk in the park. We're not just going to be dancing on the clouds or something. It's going to be work, okay? It's going to be fun. It's going to be rewarding. It's going to be good for you. But it's going to be work, okay? I think that's kind of the message there. But with the Three, this is something that you know deep down it's good for you, okay? and it aligns with your true self. Yeah, and this is a character building kind of, beginning for you. I don't know what you're doing. I'd love to hear it. Let me know in the comments. Maybe it's a martial art. Maybe it's a sport. Maybe it's a new study, something at school or university, a trade school, an art school. Maybe you're going after a promotion or some kind of certification. You're going to show up consistently. And I think that you're deep down in your soul, you know that this is a good investment of your time. You know that this is a worthwhile investment of your time, effort, energy, money, and space. Okay? And your actions are going to reflect that. You're moving like someone who respects themselves, and your future self is going to be very proud of you. Because you're expanding your horizons. You're pushing yourself into parts unknown, into the unknown territory. Okay? And I think this is very, very good for you. Whatever it might be. As challenging as it might be. Now, we got to kind of go back here and talk about this hermit energy. Because the hermit seems like it's kind of like the last season of your life, this hermit energy, solitude, kind of introspection, taking time alone. Maybe you kind of went like off the grid for a while. I feel like this is really you doing some soul searching. Okay. And I feel like in a world where everything feels scary and nothing feels real anymore and everyone seems to be disconnecting, you needed to connect with something real. And maybe this led to your Fool energy saying, okay, I need to put myself in a real situation with real people, with real like physical presence. Okay? And I feel this. And I kind of as a little sidebar here, it does feel kind of scary out there in the world sometimes. Especially now where it's like when we go on the internet, we don't even know if what we're looking at is real. We don't even know if there's like real people in the things that we're watching. And so I feel like your soul is in need of something real, like physical, physical activation, or physical contact. So it may be a sport or something like this where it just like keeps us grounded in our bodies, And I do want to thank you for being right here with me right now, because we are family here. And we're communing with something real here together right now. And I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you spending your time, effort, energy, money, and space to be here with me in this community. Okay? And this has always been and will always be a real place with real people to come and commune together. Okay? But with the, kind of back to the point with the hermit, I feel like something was being processed here internally, And so you had more introspection, more introversion, more interoception, kind of looking inside. And asking those questions, and I feel like reducing the social input, reducing the noise, so that you can hear the inner guide. Maybe you rested, you were reading more, studying more, kind of trying to live a more simple life, And maybe this really was, a time where you had to process something, looking for clarity, using solitude as medicine, and kind of just appreciating your own company, stepping back from the noise and just being with yourself there. And kind of asking yourself the question, who am I? Where am I? What am I doing? Where am I going? What's the dark, scary forest that we need to enter into? What's the pressure cooker I need to put myself in now? Where do we go from here? Kind of energy. And so initially I thought, okay, well, maybe the Fool has gotten out of the dark, scary forest. And now you're kind of getting back to more social things. And yeah, I feel like that is partly true. But I kind of feel that the hermit is not done continuing their journey. And the Fool here is getting ready to kind of leap into the next very exciting phase of your journey. Yeah, but I do feel still, even with this Fool, that something is being left behind, that there is this kind of freedom or a transcendence, or there is like you're emerging from this hermit period with, I don't know, more self-awareness or a deeper connection with spirit, a deeper connection with yourself. Because the Fool here is really like, the Fool is pure spirit. Okay, no baggage, no costumes, no encumbrance. You're innocent. And you're entering into something new, just kind of like fresh, and even entering into something with no expectations and no bad habits, and it's just saying, I'm a blank slate, I'm going to learn, I'm going to apply myself, and I'm going to grow. I'm not going into this thinking, I already know how to do it, I'm already good at it. No, we're just trying to be a blank slate, no bad habits, no preconceived notions, no assumptions, no expectations, and just saying, let's do it. Okay? Well, show me the way. Yeah. And the way is, of course, 7 of Wands here. It's going to be something that challenges you. It's an obstacle that you're going to have to face. It's going to require your courage. It's going to require an inner strength. This is the card of valor, right? And so this is kind of like what's on your mind consciously. And you're expecting to go in there and get your butt kicked. You're expecting to be the underdog. Yeah. And you're expecting to have to really push yourself through something. Yeah. And you are consciously aware that you're going to need to be brave, that you're not going to back down, that once you begin something, you're not going to quit. Yeah. And it's kind of, you're taking that action that's kind of like committing yourself to it. You're accepting that that discomfort may be part of the process. You're not abandoning yourself when it gets difficult. You're not abandoning yourself in the face of opposition. You're standing your ground. You're stronger than the test. Okay? And the test is, of course, the pressure cooker. You're stronger than that. Remember why you started this thing, and, you're going to push through. Because it is intentionally difficult. It's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be easy. If it were easy, it wouldn't be worthwhile. Okay? A lot of fire energy here. Just want to keep reminding ourselves of that. A lot of fire. Now in the future position, the 10. This is pedal to the metal. And sometimes this card is saying, oh, you're putting in way too many hours, you're overworked, you're overburdened, the pressure's getting to you, isn't it? You're going to burn out. I don't know that I would agree with that. I mean, yeah, I think you got to be careful. You got to make sure that as challenging and as exciting and as, I think, as pleasurable as this is going to be, you got to make sure that you rest and that you hydrate adequately, and you sort of simplify and don't make it more difficult than it needs to be. But put in the effort. Don't shy away from this. Don't give it a half measure. Go all in. This is asking you kind of how much pressure can you handle. You're in the pressure cooker. When is it too much, and when do you need to say, okay, I need a break? You're in jiu-jitsu, and a lot of jiu-jitsu is like pressure on other people, putting people in holds and guards and passes and stuff. And, you tap out when the pressure is too much, when it starts to hurt. And you got to make sure that you do that. So this is not saying I give up, I quit. It's kind of like we're tapping. In other words, that's as much pressure as I can safely take, and I need to get up now and catch my breath and get a drink of water, and then we'll get back to it. So there, you understand that. Because you are going to feel the weight. You are going to feel the weight of this. And I think that this is okay. I think that you need this, but you have to also make sure that you listen to your body. When your body says stop, you stop before it forces you to stop. So this is kind of like, this is a card, this is a little bit of Saturn energy here, trying to remind you that you have a brake pedal. You can tap when it gets to be a little too much and you need to come up for air and get a drink of water and you need to catch your breath and that sort of thing. So don't drive yourself into the ground here. When you're trying to do everything at once, you kind of lose sight of the goal and the purpose and the intent anyway. you don't want to feel crushed under the obligation here. In other words, don't bite off more than you can chew. And don't be afraid to tap out when the pressure is too much in any given moment. Rest when you need to rest. Don't hurt yourself. And I'm looking at it, from a jiu-jitsu point of view, because, you're going to push yourself and you're going to challenge yourself and you are going to grow. This is a pressure cooker. It's not supposed to be a walk in the park, but it's not supposed to hurt you either. Okay? Whatever this might be, I don't know what you're doing. Again, if you want to share any of the details with us here at the community, feel free. It is going to take up a lot more of your time, effort, energy, money, and space. I feel like you're going to want to devote a lot of time to this because it's going to feel, the more you do it, the more it's going to feel really good. And the better it feels, the more you're going to say, I want to do it. I want to do it again. Can I do it all day, every day? And you just need to maintain a kind of balance here, okay? Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. The readings are totally free, and subscribing is a really good way to support the channel, and I really, really do appreciate that, okay? Your general energy is the Five of Pentacles. This is the physical changes that are taking place here. It's kind of like it's something that kind of, it costs us physically. It's something that breaks up the physical structure, and I think that kind of what I'm feeling with this card is like a lot of stretching, because I feel like we're just kind of elongating our arms and our muscles and our bones, and we're starting you know how when you've been sitting down for a long time and you finally stand up and your back cracks and your neck cracks and stuff. That's kind of what I'm feeling with this. I feel like we're loosening up. Okay? I feel like you're anchoring into your body and you're using that body. Intentional movement, I think, is got to be part of this in some way. Yeah. And I think that this is you really loosening up your body and easing into this and feeling more fluid. Not being so rigid or stubborn, but letting things flow a little bit. I also think that there is a financial consideration here. There's got to be something about that here. That may have something to do with money or work or practical concerns. Okay. But this is you taking a grounded action. You're making the call, you're sending the email, you're sending the payment, you're putting in the application. We're doing something proactive here to get things going, and this to me feels like a roll of the dice. The Five of Pentacles to me is another five-fingered hand, and I feel like this one's rolling the dice with something, just saying, let's put some time into it and see what happens. Let's put our time, effort, energy, money, and space into this and see what kind of a return we get. Now, I don't think that this is a financial investment and you're going to get a financial return. I think this is an energetic investment, and I think you're going to get a lot of growth and a lot of joy out of this. It's good for your soul. It's good for your character. It's good for your body. I don't think it's a financial thing necessarily, okay? But I think you're somebody that that is really I think we forget how good it feels to move our bodies sometimes, especially in my case. I'm sitting here doing readings 5 hours a day, and I'm driving for another couple hours every day. And so when I get into jiu-jitsu class, I forget, I'm like, wow, I'm moving my body. It feels good. It feels good to be, doing the takedowns and all this kind of stuff. And so I think this is really an opportunity, whether this is related to this Fool energy or not. I feel like, I should say this might not be one specific thing for you. This could be you feeling like you're turning over a new leaf in life. And it could just be the Fool just woke up one day and just said, you know what, I'm feeling a fool today. And this is the day that everything changes. I'm going to be more health conscious. I'm going to move my body more. I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to start exercising or doing breathing exercises. I'm going to start stretching. We may just wake up one day and feel this way. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be any particular thing that's saying, I'm going to go take a ceramics class or something. That's what I'm going to do. This might just be, today's a new day. I'm waking up today, and today is a brand new day, and I'm going to listen to my soul here, and I'm going to push myself in those ways that are going to be good and healthy and productive for me. And I think I like that. Yeah. We also have the Five of Cups in the environment. I think we're kind of expecting it to not be so fun. So it's kind of like we wake up and say, all right, well, today I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to start drinking more water. It's going to be miserable. It's really going to suck. I don't think it will. I think we're kind of expecting disappointment, or we're expecting it to be kind of, miserable or not fun. But I don't think it's going to be that. Okay. I think we have this preconceived notion, or this assumption that anything that's good for us can't feel good or taste, taste good. That if it's good for me, it's gonna have to be miserable to my emotions or my ego, right? If it feels good, then it can't be good for me. I think that's a mistake. 'Cause I feel like we're really we're expecting it to be physically challenging, yes, but let's not expect it to be like no fun either. It can be fun. And that's a big problem. People say, oh gosh, exercise. Ugh, that doesn't sound fun. It can be fun. Let's make it fun. Or, eating healthy. That doesn't sound fun. Yeah, it does. Let's make it fun. Or we think that healthy food can't taste good. That sort of vibe, right, is what I'm feeling. But also with the Five of Cups here in the environment and in the relationships, I feel like this is really part of your emotions that are saying, hey, look at me. Another five-fingered hand waving at you. Say, feel the feelings. Okay? Feel what you're feeling here. Because it might be that, we're not feeling as good as we wanted to. And so that kind of wakes the fool up and says, okay, you know what? I want to feel good. I want to, especially in our bodies, I want to feel pleasure. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel happy. I want to feel good. Okay? So this kind of feels like it's something that is, it's something that is asking you to recognize it. Recognize where in our life we don't feel all that satisfied, or where we're not feeling pleasure. Is it in our body? Are we not feeling so good physically, mentally, emotionally? Is there something that's missing? Very often the Five of Cups is like something should be there, but it's not. And there's disappointment. I feel like we need to recognize that. What's missing from your life? Let the fool go do that. Let the fool reach out to that. Okay? And I think what we'll find is a very lovely Three of Cups. Abundance, joy, friendship, emotional overflow. This is you spending time in a place that makes you feel light, makes you feel alive, maybe makes you sweat, but it feels good. I think there's probably a social aspect to your life right now. And the fool, like I said, kind of going from hermit mode to fool mode is saying, I'm not in my fortress of solitude anymore. I'm out in the world. I'm going to make friends. I'm going to go take a class. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to call my friends. I'm going to go invite people out to dinner. I'm going to have, a more externally focused, exteroception kind of vibe now. And I wonder if we just woke up one day and said, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to be hermit mode anymore. I want to be fool mode. Because this is a very social card. This is, reaching out to people. This is you saying yes to invitations that feel genuine. Even when you're tired, even if you don't want to do it, you do want to do it. There's a certain joy in that. Okay. And, well, this may be what's missing from your life. When we're talking about the Five of Cups and we say that something should be there and it's not there, what is the thing that's missing? Maybe what's missing is fun, joy, friends, social life, sharing something with somebody. Yeah. So let yourself have fun without it really needing to be productive. Do something that's going to move your body, something that's going to get you outside, something that is challenging enough to be stimulating, but not so challenging that it's no fun. So there's a balance there, right? If it's too challenging, we're going to hate it and we're going to quit, and that's it. It's going to be a bad news bears type of situation. But if it's not challenging enough, we'll get the 4 of Cups, we'll get bored. Or we'll get an 8 of Cups, right? We'll just get really turned off by it, and we'll walk away. At either extreme, we're walking away. So when we're putting ourselves into new situations in life, we want them to be just right. Challenging enough that it keeps me working hard and keeps me thinking, keeps me interested. But not so hard that I just say, I'm not capable, this is way beyond me, I'm out. And not so easy that we get bored and we say, this is stupid, I'm out. And maybe that's the Temperance card, the balance. Not going to either extreme, but finding those pathways in our life that are real nice, just right. Just right. The Goldilocks zone of personal development. And, yeah, it may be really the reason why we've got a 5 and a 3 here. We don't want it to be either too challenging or not challenging enough that we're disappointed. We want it to be the perfect balance of challenge so that it's joyous, that it's exciting, that it feels like, okay, I'm actually doing something. There's a little bit of resistance, there's a little bit of challenge, so it means I'm actually doing something, and then it also feels good. Because then, guess what? With the Prince of Wands, we're going to keep doing it. Now we have that fixed fire energy, which means I can sustain this for as long as I want, years if I wanted to. Because it's just the right amount of challenging that keeps me engaged, but also is rewarding me emotionally. So that's the sweet spot, right? And of course, it's going to need some adjusting as we go. And that's why you move up in belts and jiu-jitsu gets more challenging. If I stayed at a white belt for years and years and years, I'd be like, this is too easy. Like, I know all the moves. It's easy. I know. I just quit. If I moved right into black belt, I would say, this is way too freaking hard. I'm out of here. I'm like, no, So you start and it's like a video game, right? Because the levels get progressively more challenging to keep the gamer interested. If you had to replay level, if every level was as easy as level 1, you'd get bored and you'd stop playing. If you went straight to like super hard, like ludicrous mode, you would be like, this game is crazy. There's no way to win. I'm not going to play this. But if it's progressively more challenging, you say, ooh, this is good. I did good on that level. That felt good. We get that dopamine hit. I passed level 1. Yeah. Now level 2. Oh, this is hard. I can do it. It's just hard enough that it pushes us to grow, but it's not too far outside of our reach. And that's how we keep ourselves playing the game for the long haul. Let's look at the mystery card. I don't even know. The Star, maybe. Your superpower card, maybe an ace of something. Maybe some swords. Maybe some swords. If you have a prediction, please put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Yeah, the 8 of Swords. Look at that. Because this is that kind of helpless feeling like, I don't know what to do. We're overthinking it, really, here. And the Fool is the antithesis of the 8 of Swords, because the Fool, if anything, underthinks things, right? We're not overthinking, we're underthinking it. And I think we'd rather do this than this. We'd rather just be like, yeah, let's jiu-jitsu. Yeah, let's go. Not realizing that, oh, man, this is hard. Okay, well, I'm here, so let's keep doing it. It's kind of like we almost just need to close our eyes and jump and not look too much at what we're jumping into, because when you look at it and the more you think about it, you think, I don't know, that seems pretty hard, right? It's like, I'm trying to think of a safe example, but, I knew people that used to jump off of cliffs into big lakes. I don't recommend that. It's dangerous. I've never done it. I'll never do it. But they used to just run and they would jump. But then there'd be other of us like me that I'd be up there and I'd be looking down and I'd be calculating in my head the likelihood that I was going to die. And I'd say, I'm not doing that. No, I'm going to walk away. I would overthink it. Whereas my friends, they would underthink it. They just run and they would jump and they were fine. Nothing happened to them. They got lucky for sure. But the Fool and the Eight of Swords kind of the same way. Whatever this is, we don't want to overthink it. Don't think about it too much at all. Just go sign up for it, go to the class and do it. Because now you're there and you're not going to let yourself leave, right? But if you investigate it too much or you think about it too much, you're going to find a lot of reasons why it's too challenging for you. Or a lot of reasons why maybe I don't want to do it. So let's avoid this. What we should not avoid, though, is the extended reading. Click on the link in the corner. There's a link in the video description. Aquarius, I would love for you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from, and let me know what you're going to start this week that's going to challenge you just enough. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we are all in this together.